Hello, this is Mr. VP again, and today we're going to talk about the fall of man. Now, this never made sense to me. How can one person sin? How can we be punished for one person's sin? It's unfair. I don't believe God would punish me for something someone else did. All right. Now, it's basically the first thing they teach you in the Bible. First, you have creation, and then you have the fall of man. You know, this is what I first thought from years ago. The first thing they teach you is don't eat from the knowledge of good and evil. To me, the knowledge of good and evil could be the Bible or anything that tells you what's good and evil. And he says, don't do it. That's basically like telling us, don't judge what's good and evil. You also have the tree of life in there, and that also can be the Bible. So it's like, it's telling you, okay, you have the Bible right here. You can read it, judge what's good and evil from it, pointing your stone at people, this is good, that's evil. Or you could read it in a way where you don't judge it, you learn from Jesus, figure out what's good, have a good life, do what's right. Now, this is how I came up with that. Let's say Jesus is God. He wrote the Bible. He always spoke in parables. Fall of man is a parable. Just like we have talking snakes, that's like a fairy tale. The animals don't talk. Then we have trees that give you knowledge of good and evil, or give you life. God said you could do anything you want in the garden, except the knowledge of good and evil. And we can learn that today. We don't have to accept what's good, what's evil. There's right and wrong, but good and evil, that pertains to God. That brings God into it. So, you have man and you have woman. Now, the serpent, okay, Jesus always called teachers of the law vipers, snakes, right? They're the ones teaching you what's good and evil. So you're accepting what's good and evil from the serpent. It's like this. You're in paradise. You're going around doing whatever you want, not worried if it's good or evil. Get high, drink, go party, whatever. And then somebody comes along and says, gives you the Bible and say, look, read this. It says, that's good, that's evil, whatever. And then you start believing it, and then all of a sudden, you're afraid to get high, you're afraid to drink, you're afraid to party, whatever. Adam and Eve was naked, and God was fine with it. All of a sudden they know it's good and evil, and all of a sudden being naked was not good. God created everything and said everything he created was very good. Now these two come along and then they start disagreeing with God. See, God said, once you take that knowledge, you're gonna die. And they did die. Not partying, not running around the house butt naked, not drinking, blah, blah, blah. You are dead. You ain't living no more. You might as well just go lie down somewhere and stop breathing. Ugh. That's what, I came up with. And it makes sense, because what tree, the tree of, jumping jacks, tree of friggin', whatever. You can reject the knowledge of good and evil right now. You don't have to judge. What if it was a parable? Then I came up with this. I was reading Revelations 13:18, and it said, the Lamb who was slain from the creation of the world. And then he was born in 81. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, what if the fall of man is about Jesus when he was here? And teachers of the law rejected him. So I came up with this. Tell me what y'all think. In the beginning, God created the heavens and earth. God created mankind in his own image. In the image of God, he created them. Male and female, he created them. Man had the power to dominate the earth, to create, to destroy, love, and hate, and to freely do as he pleases. In the likeness of God, he created them. God saw that all he had made, and it was very good. And the Lord God commanded man, do not judge, and you will not be judged. Do not condemn, and you will not be condemned. Forgive, and you will be forgiven. The eye is the lamp of the body. If your eyes are healthy, your whole body will be full of light. You are the light of the world. It gives light to everyone. Let your light shine before others, that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven. But if your eyes are unhealthy, your whole body will be full of darkness. If then the light within you is darkness, how great is that darkness? Now, the teacher of the law, not teachers of faith, was more crafty than any of the people the Lord God had made. He said to the woman, did God really say you must not judge what is good and evil? The woman said to the teacher of the law, if we do not judge, then we will not be judged. If we do not condemn, we will not be condemned. Forgive, and we will forgive. You will certainly not be condemned for judging what is good and evil, the teacher of the law said to the woman. In fact, God knows the moment you judge right from wrong, your eyes will be opened, and you will be just like him. You will be like God, knowing what is good and evil. When the woman saw that knowing what is good and evil is desirable for gaining wisdom, she and her husband began learning what is good and evil according to the teacher of the law. Then the eyes of both of them were opened, realizing that they were doing evil in the sight of God. They immediately began trying to earn their forgiveness according to the law they had just been taught. Then the man and his wife heard the sound of God as he was walking in the garden in the cool of the day, and they hid from the Lord God. But God called to the man, where are you? He answered, I heard you in the garden, and I was afraid. I hid because I realized I am a wicked person. And he said, who told you you were wicked? Have you been judging what is good and evil after I told you not to? The man said, the woman you put me here with, she told me I was doing evil things, and I believed. Then the Lord God said to the woman, what is this you have done? The woman said, the teacher of law deceived me, and I believed because I was afraid you would be angry if I didn't listen. So the Lord God said to the teacher of the law, because you have done this, woe to you, teacher of the law. You shut the door of the kingdom of heaven in people's faces. You yourselves do not enter, nor will you let those who are trying to. You snake, you brood of vipers. Adam, man, named his wife Eve, which means mother of all living. The Lord God said, man now has become like one of us, judging good and evil. He must not be allowed to understand the secrets of the kingdom of heaven and live forever. I will open my mouth in parables. I will utter things hidden since the creation of the world. God walked among us 2,000 years ago. He was